G'day, it's Brendan from Fretboard Guitars here. We've had a couple of people on our forum ask how to replace the fret dots on their guitar necks with Paua Shell or mother of pearl. Now I've done it a couple of times, so I'm going to give you a quick demo on how I do it on my guitar necks. Today I'm going to replace the fret dots on my JBA-4M neck, which is a jazz bass neck with a maple fretboard. I'm going to replace the plastic fret dots with black mother of pearl. In terms of tools that you require, today I've got a drill, a 2.5mm drill bit, a 6mm brad point drill. This will give me a very flat bottom to any hole that I drill with it. Just a piece of rag, a pair of needle nose pliers, some super glue. You can either use Stumac or just normal super glue. Today I'll just use normal super glue to show you how it can be done. You'll naturally need some fret dots. So here I've got black mother of pearl or Paua Shell. There's a range that you can buy online, but today I'll be using black mother of pearl. A little file and some sandpaper, and to finish it off I like to use a little nail file. I actually stole it off my wife. These are really great to get a really nice finish. So what sort of fret dots should you use? Here I've got a piece of rosewood and a piece of maple, just to show you the differences between the two. And I've got a Paua Shell fret dot here and a black mother of pearl fret dot here. Again, a Paua Shell and a black mother of pearl fret dot. I do find that the Paua Shell sticks out nicely on the rosewood and the black mother of pearl sticks out really nicely on the maple. The first stage in the process is to drill a hole through the middle of the fret dots. This will allow us to pull the fret dots out and minimise any damage to the fretboard. I'm going to use the 2.5mm drill bit to drill these holes. Now you just drill through until you can feel the plastic fret dots being drilled through, and you should be right from there. Once you've drilled holes in the middle of each of your fret dots, they should be fairly easy to remove with a pair of needle nose pliers. The fret dots have now been removed. I'll just clean up the neck and make sure I haven't left anything behind. Now that I've removed the fret dots and cleaned up any of the remaining plastic, you can sometimes just pop the fret dots or the new fret dots back in the holes. I find that they're probably a little bit too tight, so what I tend to do is I'll get my brad point drill bit, I'll wrap a bit of rag around it so that I've got something to hold on to. And what I'll do is just by hand, just turn it in the hole, just by hand. The reason I'm not using a drill here is that I find that it's just too aggressive and that you can actually end up making the hole significantly bigger. I'll just repeat for the rest of the fret dots until I've got them all done. Now the piece of rag is just to protect your fingers because the edges of the drill bit naturally are fairly sharp. Now that I've cleaned up the holes, I find that the fret dots fit in quite snugly, which is exactly what I want. So the process now is I'll just use a dot of super glue. Now here I'm just using the cheap $2 super glue from the local hardware store, which is going to be fine for the purposes that I have today. All we need is a dot of super glue in there. Doesn't need to be a lot, because all we're going to be doing is holding the fret dot in place. Line up the fret dot, and with a little bit of persuasion it's all lined up and seated nicely. Now it is just a tiny bit proud, which is exactly what I want, because what I'll do is I'll just sand that flush with the rest of the fretboard. The worst thing you want is for it to be below the fretboard, in which case at times you may actually need to drill it out and start again. If you do need to drill it out, just go through the same process that I've shown you before. The Paua Shell and the black mother of pearl will actually fragment, so it might be a bit more messy. Continuing on with the next dots, I'll just line them up, have a look at them, make sure I've got the right side. And keep on going. This last one here is just being a bit more tricky to get in, so I'll just give it another quick twist with the drill bit and just see if I can make it a little bit bigger. The process here is to now just sand or file them back to being flush with the fretboard. Now you want to do this very carefully and very gently because you don't really want to be putting some lines across your fretboard. So what I tend to do is any bulk I'll remove with a little file. And you know, it's quite a small file here, comes in a set. This is the one I pulled out today, but whichever one works for you. And then follow that up with some fairly fine sandpaper. I think this is about 400, and then moving up through the grits through 600, 800, 1200 up to about 2000 if you want to start polishing those fret dots. So I'll make a start. Now that I've started getting close to the fretboard itself, I'll move down through the grits of sandpaper. I'm pretty happy with that fret dot, so what I'll do is I'll take my trusty nail file. As I said, this is one I got off my wife that she'd finished using but still had a bit of life in it. And what I'll do is I'll work through the various grits there. They've got 4 grits on here. I won't use the first one, I just find that's a bit too coarse, but then we'll slowly move up through 2, 3 and 4 until I've got that fret polished, that fret dot polished. I'm happy. So we then just go and repeat that for the rest of the fret dots. You can do it in whatever order you want to, whether you want to file them all and then sand and then finish off with a block. I've just done that way so that you can see end to end what to do with fret dots. As I said, this is a jazz bass 4-neck. These are available from pitbullguitars.com as part of the jazz bass kit. This is a maple neck, maple neck with maple fretboard. It's a C profile neck. Beautiful to play, lots of fun to make, easy to do, so recommend, give it a go, give it a crack. If you have any questions, please come and have a look at our forum on pitbullguitars.com and look at the community button, and that will take you through to the forum. Ask any questions you've got and we're more than happy to help you out.